It's happening. Here it is. Oral Sessions, joined by none other than the Danhausen. Hi.
Yes, hello, how are you?
I'm great. Listen, I am stoked to have you on the show today. I'm a big
Wow.
fan. Big fan, big supporter.
Wow. Thank you very much. Danhausen's a huge fan of you as well, Renee. And looking forward to being on this very famous show.
It's a very famous show, and I'm very excited that we're doing Danhausen Week on
Oh,
Oral
yes.
Sessions.
Oh, this is
Um,
spelled correctly right now.
Yes, yeah, it's Danhausen week. I get to do my interview with you, and then you're going to take over Oral Sessions. And I don't know what's going to happen with that. I'm leaving the ball in your court, but I trust you for a weird reason. I'm not sure why. I'd
It's,
say you have a trustworthy face, but I don't think that's true.
well, we also cannot say that because we're on a podcast, but this is being
True.
recorded for some sort of YouTubes, so who
Yeah.
knows?
Listen, it'll live on the internet. We're all just trying to be famous on television and the internet, right?
Yes, absolutely. Danhausen's very famous, very evil.
What makes someone so famous on the internet? How does someone get fame on the internet? Because it's a stiff market.
Yes, well, you must stand out correctly. You must be friends with other celebrities such as
Mhm.
Danhausen with Conan O'Brien and
Mhm.
Rock the Dwayne Johnson and your good friend CM Punkhausen.
Yes.
Great internet friend said Danhausen's a good tweeter once and gave him his finishing maneuver as a blessing.
Were you excited when this happened? Because it seemed like it was a bit of a switch off where like CM Punk gave you the blessing that you could use the GTS, but then where do we stand on this?
Well, so
It's all been approved?
Danhausen saw it was CM Punk, wonderful fellow, gave Danhausen the GTS as his finisher, and then Kenta got a little angry at him.
Yes.
But then he said he does not care who uses it except for CM Punk. So Danhausen got two blessings as far as he can see it.
Perfect.
Got the
That's
blessing
great.
From, CM Punk and Kentahausen. So, well,
Perfect. Okay, so it's all good. You get to use the GTS, no problems, no
yes,
issues.
and then he named it as well. He named it very nice, very evil.
Oh, CM Punk named it that?
Yes, it was quite wonderful.
He's a clever man when it comes to things like that. I'll give him that. That's a good one. Very nice, very evil.
Yes.
Very good.
He made a
Um,
t-shirt out of it, made lots of monies. He owned one. Danhausen saw him on the Sam Roberts podcast wearing it.
Oh, I need a Danhausen shirt, but I believe that you're sending me a baby onesie and like one of the wrestler buddies.
Yes. So it's a very nice gift.
It's a very nice gift.
It'll probably
My daughter will be
before the time
thrilled.
this comes out, so we shall see.
Okay, so why are you so evil?
Well, let's see. We were evil because, that's how you get ahead in this world at first.
Okay.
Then Danhausen noticed that you cannot always be evil. You do not make money that way. You do not gain trust that way. So that's where very nice comes in. You must be very nice, very evil, so you get the best of both worlds, if you will. So you have to trick people a little bit by being nice. Do not tell anybody about this. It's a secret.
I would never.
Yes, thank you. And then they will come and they will throw monies at you and they'll put you on television and all that good stuff. As soon as Danhausen added a little bit of nice to his evil, that's when things started working better.
How do you strike the balance, and do you change it depending on who you're talking to, who you're dealing with? Because is it easier to stay more evil, or do you veer more towards the nice?
Well, let's see. Sometimes it depends on Danhausen's opponent in the ring or who he's talking to on the internet. Then they might just get full on evil Danhausen if he does not like them. But usually Danhausen likes to mix the nice in there first to cozy up to them, if you will.
Okay.
Then
I like
the
that.
strike turns on the evil.
What was Danhausen like as a little boyhausen?
Oh, let's see. He liked comic books and horror movies. Started watching those at a young age. Who'd have thought? And what else? Oh, we discovered wrestling when Danhausen was about 6 or 7, something like that.
Who was your favorite? Who did you like as a wrestler?
So it must have been a recap of some sort on a Monday Night Raw as Danhausen and Dadhausen were flipping through the stations. But it was a flashback to Bad Blood 97, where Kane was ripping off the door. And it was red lights. He looked like Jason, sort of, from Friday the 13th. Yeah, a little bit. I don't know. And then he ripped it off and he destroyed that Undertaker fellow. You ever heard of him?
I've heard of him. Yeah, I've met him. I've been able to have the luxury of calling some Undertaker matches.
Oh, yes.
Very fancy.
He is very fancy. He shoots real life lightning from his fingertips.
What a skill, right?
Yes, Danhausen's been trying to master that, but cannot quite get it.
Interesting. Well, I think if you were to come to Las Vegas, you could probably find a way to get with some of the sleight of hand magicians in town, and they might be able to show you how to do some of that.
Danhausen doesn't trust magicians.
Why?
They're swindlers.
Well, they're very similar to wrestling, right? It's like old vaudevillain. It could be a little wacko. I agree with you. I think that magicians can be a little bit scary, but you might be able to learn something. I think if you're able to strike a business relationship with somebody and you take something away from it, it could be good. You don't have to be friends with them. You just need to learn the skill.
Yes, perhaps we could learn a card trick where we say, what card do you choose? And then we'll figure out a way to pickpocket them at the same time.
Yes.
There we go.
We'll go down to Fremont and we'll walk away even richer.
With a neon sign, too.
Yes.
Got to get all the neon signs.
How rich are you at this point?
Oh, hundreds of dollars. Very rich.
Great. What are you going to do with it?
Oh, what are we going to do?
Do you have like a max goal of like where you need to hit to really
$1,000.
20,000?
No, one. That's
1,000.
How would you get to 20?
Okay, 1,000. I mean, I feel like we could do that busking.
Oh, well, let's try. What is busking?
We could like sing a song out on the streets and open up a guitar case.
A duo act.
Yes.
Yes, we could try that. That would be quite nice. I think we could.
I would like that.
Monkeys.
What are some other skills that Danhausen has?
Danhausen can draw a little bit, does a little bit of art. He doesn't do it too often, but he, when this whole pandemic thing started, Danhausen was drawing superheroes for people on the side of doing his wrestling business because people
like Jerry the King Lawler, he does that
a little bit. Yes. What else would you? Danhausen can play a drum set a little bit.
Okay.
He does not have one though, so we have to work on getting that.
Okay.
He can drive a car.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Even in Canada, you can drive a car?
Oh, yes. It is more difficult, though.
Well, yeah, because you are in Montreal, right?
Oh, yes. There's one-way streets. It is quite evil.
A lot of one-way streets, and the signs are all in French. Does Danhausen speak French?
I could say sucré poulet.
Oh, okay.
Chicken.
Yeah.
It's the only thing Danhausen can order while he's eating here.
What is that? You say sugar chicken?
Sugar, yes, sucré poulet. Oh,
yeah. What is sugar chicken?
I don't know. Danhausen just knows both those words. So when he goes to a restaurant, he says, sucré poulet for Danhausen.
Oh, I've never had that. I mean, I would have ordered like the la poutine or un sandwich.
Well, you could also
la boulangerie.
Framboise.
Oh, yeah.
Raspberry.
Oh, yeah. Love a good framboise, le pamplemousse, grapefruit.
Nope.
Le pomme, an apple.
Oh, yes. Danhausen knows about those apples.
Yeah. All sorts. How is Canada treating you?
They give tickets to Danhausen a lot because he cannot read the signs. So it seems that Danhausen gets parking tickets quite often.
Oh, no. Well, that's not going to bode well for you staying rich.
And they put gravy on everything.
Do you not like that?
Well, I likes it, but it's on too many things.
That's something that's always kind of upset me about being in America. I was talking to Rhea Ripley about that because she is from Australia, which is also of the Commonwealth. And they also put gravy. Like you just get like fries with gravy. And that's not a thing in America. And it's quite upsetting. Where do you stand on malt vinegar on your fries?
That is a thing Danhausen has discovered here. There's a place called Britain Chips. It is a pub type place that sells fish and chips. And they put malt vinegar on your French fries. Wonderful.
The best.
Yes.
It's that with like a pile of salt, bloat me up and call it a day.
See, this is the other problem. Danhausen loves gravy on everything. But we are trying to be on television. Danhausen cannot just drink gravy every day.
True. That's true. But I feel like you have a lean figure. I feel like you probably have room to like let loose a little bit.
Yes, but we cannot guzzle down gallons of gravy every day. Otherwise, Danhausen will lose it. His slender, muscular figure.
And not even that, but if you were to guzzle down a bunch of gravy and then have a wrestling match, you
Oh,
could quite possibly have a poop in the ring situation.
that would be the most evil situation, and we do not want that even a little bit.
What are other foods in Canada that you have gotten into? Because you've not been there for very long, right?
No, it has only been about a year. But he's been visiting for a while. I don't
Is
know.
your wife Canadian?
What's it?
Is your wife Canadian?
Yes, she is a dual citizen. She is from Montreal. She has lived in Germany, and she has lived in the States.
Wow, she sounds very chic.
Yes, all over the place.
I've seen you like post photos of her or like retweet her. She is quite the number. How did you guys meet?
So she was doing a theater bazaar. It is a Halloween burlesque show. She's a burlesque dancer, Lulu La Duchess. And
What a name.
yes, Lulu La Duchess derrière.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, the Duchess of Tuckus. Yes, it was Theater Bazaar. It is in Detroit in an old haunted building. Danhausen was just rummaging about, discovered Danhausen, and then said, Danhausen actually thought she was a bot.
Oh, I can see that. I mean,
on
she's very
Instagram.
beautiful.
Yes, and then she messaged Danhausen on Instagram to hit on Danhausen or something.
Oh.
Right in the DMs is what Danhausen hears it's called.
Mm-hmm.
And Danhausen said, this must be spam. And then it was not. Danhausen waited a few weeks because he didn't know. He didn't see it. It went to his request folder. And, then we did not meet that day. But then we met after that. Danhausen is actually driving back from the Butcher and Blades show in the Tid the Season when he saw it.
Was that in Buffalo?
That was in Buffalo. And then she said, just come to Montreal right now. It's only a few hours away. And then Danhausen said, this is like 7 hours. Absolutely not.
But you could have. I mean, when a beautiful woman says you better get here real quick, I think you get your passport and you hop over that rainbow bridge.
This is true, but also it could have been, you ever see that movie, So I Married an Axe Murderer?
You could have been kidnapped.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, you could have. What a trap. You're right. That could have been a really bad trap. You're right. Guys, you heard it here first. Don't always respond to the DMs. Sometimes it can be great, and you do end up with this beautiful Lulu La Duchess La Derrière wife.
Sometimes you end up with your head in a freezer. And
sometimes you end up with your head in a freezer or in a box. Who knows? That could be a really scary situation. But I'm glad that it worked out.
Luckily, you've seen that wonderful Canadian man's film, Michael Myers.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Who doesn't love Michael Myers? Well, Mike Myers. Michael Myers is different than Mike Myers.
Yes, a little bit.
A little bit. What was your first date that you guys went on? What do you like on a date? Are you a romantic guy? What do you do?
Yes, a bit, I suppose. We went to the Detroit Historical Museum. And we looked at bones. There were skeleton bones. Mm-hmm. And what else did we do? We went to a barbecue place because that's what Danhausen heard regular humans like to eat. Mm-hmm. And she actually stood in the window because we could not find the door. There was some sort of hidden door there. So she stood in the window and yelled into the window, which probably drew more attention than even Danhausen would have. And then they let us in, and then we ate, and then we tried mojitos. You ever had those?
Oh, I love a mojito. A little fresh muddled mint. Love it.
Spicy water. Got Danhausen pretty good.
What else do you drink? What is your cocktail of choice?
Oh, Danhausen likes the fruity kind. The ones that taste good.
Like a cosmopolitan or like a...
There's one here in Montreal that is called a Fun Dip. And it tastes like the sour candy powder. It is.
Oh. I've never had that.
Very careful with those ones.
Yeah, that sounds exceptional. What about Montreal smoked meat? Have you had that while you're there yet?
Yes, Danhausen hates it.
No, why?
It's like hot dog meat.
And what's wrong with hot dog meat? I love hot dogs.
It tastes like if you opened up a hot dog and took all the meat inside of it and put it out, instead of it being in a nice casing and grilled. It's disgusting.
So does that mean that you don't like hot dogs either? It's the consistency of these.
No, Danhausen likes grilled hot dogs.
Okay.
But he does not like smoked meat.
Interesting. Well, that's a shame.
Like boiled hot dogs. Those are gross.
Boiled hot dog water is also very gross. Toss that out right away. Where do you stand on the Montreal bagel versus the New York bagel?
What is the difference? Danhausen does not know.
I guess, God, what would be the difference? Emilio, if you can chime in on a New York bagel versus the Montreal bagel. I think the Montreal ones are boiled. I think they're both
Oh,
boiled.
yes. Is Emilio hanging around here?
He is on, but he's not responding to me. He also eats twigs and berries, so he might not have the
I
answer.
do not eat twigs and berries. I love a good New York bagel. It's the water. That's what it is. It's the water. We have a different taste in water with the bagels, and sometimes ours is steamed as well. But we also boil our bagels too.
Oh, so you know what? Maybe Danhausen, he possibly had one of these at a place called New York Bagel down in Florida once.
Oh, it's not the same.
Well,
They need to be from New York City, from like a real deli.
Yeah. The deli up the block from my house will all good bagels.
That's the way to go.
Let's do a trip. We'll take some bagel trips.
Yes. Well, while you're in Montreal, you know who could take you on a good bagel trip is Sami Zayn. Do you know Sami Zayn?
So this is a strange situation. Danhausen kind of knows him from the internet, and he met him once.
Okay.
We put out a T-shirt for El Generico and Danhausen to go to the wonderful organization Sammy for.
You guys have a combo shirt, and I did not know about this?
Yes, it was up for a limited time only.
I did not know this. I would have got one.
So Danhausen met Sami Zayn about 2016 or so at an Evolve show where he was doing a special appearance, and young Danhausen went up to him and bothered him about some crazy crap or something and said, oh, do you have advice for a new wrestle boy? Which was Danhausen. And he was very nice to Danhausen. He gave him some wonderful advice. He said, do every single show. Do the bad ones, do the good ones. He said, you know what? Sometimes the bad ones are the most important ones. Because then you learn how to work in a horrible situation and get out of it better than you arrived.
What is the worst wrestling situation you've been in?
Oh, my. Let's see.
Because you almost quit at one point, right?
Oh, yes.
You almost walked away.
Yes. So Danhausen got kicked in the throat.
Oh.
Very hard. Someone kneed him in the stomach. He did that little flip. It's called a kitchen sink, I believe. And then they immediately followed it up by kicking Danhausen right here. And then Danhausen couldn't breathe, thought he was going to have to go to the hospital. But instead, he drove to McDonald's and then drove home. Yes. Well, so that annoyed Danhausen because every single week he was getting injured, it seemed, or hurt, or losing money, putting miles on his car. So that was one of the bad situations, though, where Danhausen decided, you know what? Danhausen's going to just give it one last go and be full on Danhausen with no apologies and see if it works.
And this was before you became full on Danhausen, right?
Yes, Danhausen was disguised in human makeup, if you will.
Well, I'm glad that you've revealed your true colors because this is the way to go.
Yes, it would seem so because now everything flies in, all the opportunities and monies and everything.
What do you think sparked that? Because I feel like you have taken over the internet. I feel like everyone loves you. Is there anyone that doesn't like you? Do you have enemies?
Actually, Danhausen doesn't, but every once in a while, I'll notice someone's randomly blocked Danhausen when he goes to tweet or something. But it would appear that not many wrestlers hate Danhausen that he knows of. The most, we talked earlier, we had CM Punk doesn't seem to hate Danhausen. He gets grumpy at lots of people.
Oh my God, all the time.
So that's quite the feat. Also, he's one of Danhausen's favorite wrestlers. So
that's great. Yeah, I mean, I think once you get him on board, I mean, that's a good place to start.
Yes. Who else? We got Kevin Owens didn't block Danhausen. Danhausen
that's good.
Picture of a bunch of green bananas, and he because he likes really ripe ones or something.
Oh.
So he said, "Hey, here's some Montreal bananas for you." He said, "You know what? I heard good things about you, so I'll not block you." So you have that. But yes, Danhausen has not made that many enemies that he's aware of, at least.
Well, I think that's when it comes down to being very nice and very evil. You know, I mean, if you show the nice side, but there's still that evil underlying tone, I think it's a great balance.
Yes, we even got the most famous celebrity in the world. The Rock loves that Danhausen.
I mean, come on. And you got to go like hang out with, well, not like in person, but you got to do Conan O'Brien's podcast.
Yes, very famous. Yes,
Very
that was
famous.
surreal.
What, like, how did that happen? How did it come together? Is he receptive? Is he now a Danhausen fan?
Well, he appeared to be so on the show. He said lots of Hausens. He said he's a fan. He said he gave Danhausen his blessing. What else did he say? Oh, yes. So that came up because Fanhausens kept tweeting at Danhausen saying there's a contest of some sort. Danhausen joined this contest. It was, I think, submit a question to Conan. He might read it on air. So we submitted a question. Danhausen totally forgot about it. And then about 4 months later, he had an email from them saying, are you available to do a meeting? And then Danhausen did a meeting with the producer of the show. And they didn't tell Danhausen what it was for. And then 2 days later, they said, hello, are you available to talk to Conan O'Brien tomorrow on Zoom?
Oh my gosh.
And Danhausen said, yes, what the hell is happening?
And you had to do that in your human makeup, right?
Yes. We had to use all the CGI.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank God Conan's rich so he can pay for all that CGI.
So hopefully we get back on Conan, but on the television show in Danhausen's true form.
Yes. Okay. How do we make that happen? How can we manifest more Danhausen and Conan? Because it seems like things are trending in that direction for you. What can we do?
Oh, well, I don't know. Your husband's quite famous. He's on TBS Superstation every single Wednesday.
Yes.
So you got to have him just take the mic and go off the rails, if you will, and start demanding things for Danhausen.
He could. He definitely, yeah. I mean, we might as well use what pull we have, right?
Yes. Burn bridges for Danhausen. That's what you have to do.
He's downstairs. I'll run the idea past him after. I'll see what he says. He could be down.
Imit him.
Yeah. No, he would love that.
Yeah,
well,
we could do that.
I'll try and encourage it.
People seem to like just tweeting at Conan, which I don't think he checks his Twitter that often, but Team Coco does. So tell them.
Okay. All right. Good to know. I mean, I did tag them. I listened to the episode. I made sure to tag them. I'm doing whatever I can on my end, but I mean, this needs to happen. It also seemed like when I was listening to the episode, it seems like Conan might actually be down to do some wrestling with you.
It seems so. He's done it before with Cassandro. So he's done some training. He knows.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yes. He did some lucha training.
Wow. He's a very tall, lanky man to be doing some lucha training.
Yes. Danhausen will just have to ride on his shoulders, and then we can be a huge person and defeat everybody.
Oh my God. It's pictured like Conan doing like a Rana, and what a mess that would be.
He's too tall. He's
way too tall for that.
You could choke slam somebody or power bomb them and it would hurt.
Sure. Of course. Yeah. But I like the idea of him wrestling lucha style.
Yes, we must get him on this. He's got a new show coming out probably soon. And,
so maybe that's what we do. Maybe I can lure him on to doing oral sessions in some capacity, but we do like a dual interview.
It will sabotage him.
Yes,
that's the best way to
paint him into a corner.
Yes, you have him on, but then Danhausen will secretly be on, like how Emilio is just floating in the nether realms down here somewhere. And, we'll ambush him.
It'll work. Okay, I love that. All right, great. I'm in. Okay, so we're gonna work on that. That will be a future goal. We'll manifest that. That's on the vision board. What else? What else do you want to do? What is on the Danhausen vision board?
So this is usually the interesting part to people is that Danhausen's vision board usually has little to do with wrestling, because everybody has wrestling goals.
Sure.
But Danhausen would like a cartoon of Danhausen, an animated series, if you will.
Will you animate it yourself? You said you can draw.
Oh no, that would take too long. Danhausen doesn't know how to animate. Danhausen can draw one singular photo and get rid of it. But we'll do an animated series or just a television show where Danhausen travels. That would be quite fun. What else? Oh, yes, an action figure. Danhausen's trying to get one of those.
Yes.
Danhausen has it'll probably be out by now, but a comic book cover for Image Comics, which makes Spawn. So we want to sell that out so Danhausen gets his own comic. That would be quite nice.
Yeah.
What else? Oh, there's so many things. We were trying to get a blimp for a while, but that seems to have not worked.
Well, it seems like it's also a very inefficient way to get around.
Yes, so we have over to the celebrity PT Cruiser. You have two, yes?
I have two PT Cruisers, yes.
Danhausen knew it.
Big fan of the PT Cruiser.
It's quite wonderful. It's a celebrity staple.
It's a beautiful vehicle.
And then,
It looks just like a hearse.
yes, it is wonderful. It's very evil. What else is there? Danhausen would like to work out with The Rock.
Oh, okay.
This video of Danhausen learning how to become a beefy god of some sort, like The Rock.
Interesting. How do you train now? What is your training situation?
Oh, we do weights. Lots of weights.
Okay. Clanging and banging?
Yes, clanging and banging. That's what he says.
Yeah.
We do that. What else do we do? Oh, Danhausen would like to appear one day on John Cena's Instagram feed with no explanation. That would be quite wonderful.
Okay.
That would be a fun time for Danhausen's day, he thinks. What else? Yes,
I like that.
But of course, we talk the Conan O'Brien show. Danhausen just wants to work with everybody he can. He does not care what company they're in.
You keep it. You can like kick down the forbidden door even more. Just keep everything fluid.
He'd love to do something with the New Day and Sami Zayn and what else? Egon Page, but of course, your husband seems to do whatever he wants. Danhausen likes to do that.
Yeah. Well, you had a bit of a beef with my husband, right? Because he was on the PWI 500 #1, and that really chapped Danhausen's Asshausen.
Oh. Yes, all right. This is your show, so I suppose you can swear. Not the air,
well, if I put Hausen on the end, I don't think it counts.
Oh, that might be a loophole.
I did find a little loophole. Hausen.
Oh my. Oh yes. So yes, can he hear us though?
Oh,
he's gonna come defeat Danhausen through the computer.
He can't hear right now because I have headphones on. He's probably, I don't know what he's doing down there. He's
wearing jeans.
We're safe.
Yes. Okay, so yes, Danhausen was promised the #1 spot, as he remembers, on the PWI 500, and then Danhausen got his own issue because he was excited, was filming this video, and then noticed that your husband was on the cover, and that Danhausen was not, in fact, #1, but was number 158.
Oh,
and
that's
a one for John Moxley, who was #1.
Interesting.
So,
huh.
We had a big quarrel there.
But I mean, next year you're just going to rise the ranks even more, and like you said, you can go work wherever, right? I mean, I know you were under a contract with Ring of Honor.
Yes.
But can you go work other places too? Are you allowed?
Oh, well, so Danhausen is allowed to do independent shows.
Okay.
But he cannot do other television shows.
Okay. Damn. All right.
So we shall see.
We'll have to save the jar of teeth for later.
Yes, maybe next year. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Tell me about Davis.
Oh, he's quite wonderful. So there's Davis and there's Camera Boy Nick. They both have helped Danhausen throughout his entire career. Danhausen met them when Danhausen was moonlighting as a human at the AMC theaters.
Oh, what a good gig. I've always thought that would be a great job.
Yes, it was quite wonderful. It's Danhausen's favorite job aside from this one, where we would, they taught Danhausen how to build film. So Danhausen has put together the Avengers, and that's about it.
How do you do that? What does that consist of?
The film reels together. So they were projectionists. Danhausen kind of just floated around there, did whatever he wanted to do, but then was a projectionist for a little bit as well. But that was probably like 15 years ago at this point or so.
Wow. Okay. That was a long time ago.
We've known them forever. So Davis is, he loves The Simpsons. So that's how Danhausen bonded with him, because that's Danhausen's favorite show.
I like that you got the Spruce Moose reference out there before. That's a good one.
Conan liked that one too.
Very good.
Yes. What else? And then Camera Boy Nick loves comic books and everything, and they all love horror movies. And so that's why we became the best of friends.
Okay.
And so Davis assists Danhausen, helps him get everything. And Nicholas helps film everything and do some edits.
You got a whole team.
Got a whole team. Danhausen likes it when Danhausen eats, his friends eat.
A whole team Hausen. I like that a lot. You got to bring everyone along with you.
Yes, they were there when Danhausen was at the bottom. So they will be there when Danhausen's at the top.
Absolutely. That's
you do.
That's the way you work. Very nice, very evil.
Yes.
Keep building it. What are your top 5 horror films?
Oh, well, okay. So this is going to be hard because they're going to switch and round. Danhausen's going to think of them as the first they come to his head.
Okay.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. American Werewolf in London. Alien,
Okay.
Evil Dead 2, and we'll cop out a little bit and say Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, because Danhausen really loves that one.
I always really like 2 as well. 2 is the one when they're like walking through the cave, right? And the guy's like scratching his head with the coat hanger.
Yes, that's Chop Top.
Yeah. Burning like a rat. Burning like a rat.
Yes.
Good movie.
No. Danhausen actually uses Texas Chainsaw and Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 as analogies for Danhausen's career.
Oh, how so?
Danhausen was Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original. Very evil. Not much fun in it.
Not a lot of speaking either. Just a lot of murder.
Yes, exactly. And then number 2 is a lot of fun. It is evil, but you're laughing the whole time.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Now, that's how Danhausen kind of explains how he is. But that means you have to watch those movies to understand that.
Of course. And that's fine. I mean, for the people that get it, they get it. I think it makes perfect sense. I'm sure there's other movies that can like kind of pertain to that, but that's a really good analogy. If you could be a part of any horror movie franchise, what would it be?
Ooh. Let's see. Well, it'd be quite good to be a part. Well, this isn't necessarily a horror movie, but Danhausen would love to be in What We Do in the Shadows. It's about vampires, so it's kind of horror based.
Yeah, that counts. Vampires 100% count.
Yes. Yeah, it's a comedy, but Danhausen would love to be in that.
Okay.
Fit right in.
When you are in your human form and CGI'd up,
yes,
what are some of your favorite non-horror movies?
Oh, Wayne's World.
Oh my God. What a great, yeah.
Wayne,
you learn Cantonese.
Yes.
What a great movie.
Yes, we got that. We got Multiplicity.
Oh my God. Multiplicity is such a good movie.
Yes.
Michael Keaton is sensational. I'm so glad that you put that on your list.
4 times. He cloned himself.
Oh my God. I actually watched that movie not that long ago. It's what's the woman's name, the actress in it?
Oh, she's wonderful. Danhausen cannot remember her name though.
Oh my gosh, I can't think of her name either. And she's so great. That's gonna bother me.
After the 90s, it would have seemed.
Yeah, but she did, yeah. She kind of pops up every now and stuff, and you're like, oh my God, that's her.
Yes,
Shoot, I can't get her name, but yeah, that's a Multiplicity wife.
Yeah.
She
Danhausen loves the movie Speed.
Okay. Just one, or are we going into some of the others? Okay, just one.
Just one. It's got John Wick in it, and he runs away from a bus.
Andy McDowell is her name. Emilio chimed in for me.
Yes.
Andy McDowell. Thank you, Emilio.
Fantastic, Emilio. Yes, Danhausen really likes those 3 films. He's blanking, of course, on the other ones, because as he does when he gets, asked a question.
It's hard. It's hard to compile lists sometimes. I always go back to like childhood movies when people ask me that.
Oh, yeah.
I would throw like Labyrinth out there, or like Willy Wonka.
Terrifying films.
Yeah, terrifying films, but I loved them.
Oh, Danhausen does love The Great Mouse Detective.
Oh my God. Yes, very good.
Mice in it.
Yeah.
They're smoking cigarettes.
Did you ever see like American Tail with like Fievel?
Yes, only as a small child. He does not remember that one.
It's a good one.
But
it is a good one.
Great Mouse Detective has Vincent Price in it, and actually it has burlesque in it, which maybe that set up Danhausen later to meet his wife. Who knows?
Yes. See,
Who
everything
Framed
comes
Roger
full
Rabbit as
circle.
well. That's a staple from Danhausen.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Very good. What's the baby's name in that? Baby Howard?
Something, or is it Frank?
So I think it's something with an H.
Hugo?
Maybe. Who cares? Whatever. Not who cares. We love them, but like we don't need to know. It's fine. Okay, going back to wrestling. I know that you've been able to be in the ring with guys like Johnny Gargano, Ricochet. When do we get to see that again? When do we get to see more Danhausen? Because I don't feel like people talk about you wrestling nearly enough.
No, which Danhausen takes as a compliment, because Danhausen has found a way to make an audience without even them seeing his wrestling. So,
which is wrestling. I mean, when you think of wrestling, of course, yeah, we think about somebody being great in the ring and being able to tell a story in the ring, but it's about being a character and being able to connect, and you being who you are, that makes sense. I mean, I don't know if it counts the same way when you are CGI'd up and in your human form, but you as you works.
Yes, it would seem so, because every single time Danhausen was at a show, his merch line out the door would have people in it. And they would say, hello, this is my friend, so-and-so. They do not like wrestling, but I showed them your videos. And now they're a fan. And now they're buying tickets to the show and they're seeing other wrestlers do their thing. So that's Danhausen's goal, is to do that. But Danhausen's new goal, because I think we have gotten pretty successful at doing that, is to try to mix back in the Garganos and the Ricochets.
Yeah.
Recently, Danhausen wrestled Mike Bennett.
Oh, how was that?
Oh, it was Danhausen's favorite and probably best match of his career.
Interesting. How come?
Well, because this fellow went toe-to-toe with Danhausen. We took out the showcase, really, and we just beat the crap out of each other.
Great.
Danhausen wanted to show that he can still go as well as be an entertainer.
You got to remind people sometimes.
Every once in a while, you got to do it, especially because Danhausen's in Ring of Honor now.
Well, exactly. You're there. You might as well show people that you can go. You can put on these big main event style matches.
Exactly. Yes.
Show people what an athlete you are. That's when you really start getting rich and making all the money.
Yes, but only do it sometimes. We don't have to do it all the time.
Sure. Of course. Preserve your body as well. I mean, come on.
Only do it.
Let's work smart. You got to work smarter, not harder.
Yes. You only do it when it's for lots of money or a championship or to tell people up theirs.
Yeah.
So this was to cut people up. So Danhausen did it.
Who are some of your favorite wrestlers right now?
Oh, well, let's see. Is this past and present or ones that are currently active?
Whatever your little heart desires.
All right. Well, this is going to be quite different. Danhausen always feels bad, too, because he feels like he's going to leave someone out. But
it's okay. They understand.
Danhausen's favorite. That's why he started watching wrestling again as an older adult person. He was doing commentary, and it engaged because he was injured. And it got Danhausen to watch the entire show, which Danhausen didn't really care about because he was making every single part of the show interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So that was that. Then he came back. He beat up John Cena. That was quite nice. So there's them. There's Sami Zayn.
Yep.
Sasha Banks.
Oh, yeah.
Ding Dong Hello, Bailey.
Oh, my God. One of my favorites.
The New Day. Danhausen loves the New Day. What do we got? Dalton Castle's wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, let's see. We got Egon Page.
Mm-hmm.
Your husband is quite wonderful and inspiring. Does whatever he wants. Kicks the crap.
Whatever he wants. He's a madman.
Oh, Jade Cargill is cool.
Oh, isn't she?
Yes, Danhausen watched a match with her versus Red Velvet, who is also very good.
Yeah.
Danhausen was like, this person is going to make millions of dollars.
I completely agree. I mean, when you've got a face like that, a body like that, the confidence she has, for someone who's been in the ring for not very long, she's garnered a lot of attention. Come on.
He is decimating people just like Brock Lesnar would.
She's going to be the new Brock Lesnar.
But even better.
But even better and even more rich and definitely more beautiful. No offense, Brock.
No offense, Brock Lesnar. Please do not attack us.
Do not. No, God, I would never want to be on the receiving end of that. Hell to the no.
Yes, Dan forgets though. He's just always, trying to remember these favorite wrestlers, but those are probably some of the tops. There's Kevin Owens too. Danhausen loves Kevin Owens. Yeah,
there's so many. Well, now that you're in Montreal, maybe you can hang out with them in Montreal. I don't know if I don't even know if he's there. Maybe he's in Orlando.
What happened?
I don't know if he even lives in Montreal anymore. I think he bounces back and forth.
Visits here sometimes. Probably not.
Yeah. Right now. Actually, I do think he is there at this exact moment, but
we must find him.
We must find him. Yes.
We shall search the streets for Sami.
Tell me about the tequila dance. How did we start incorporating this in?
So actually, we'll lead Sami Zayn from there to this because that was a show that Danhausen chose to do because he remembered the words of a one wise Sami Zayn was do every show. So this show was, what was it? Unsanctioned pro, wonderful people, but they were doing a bar wrestling show where there's no ring. And Danhausen was trying to fill the end of his weekend to make monies. And it was out of his comfort zone because there's no ring at this show.
Oh.
So he was like, well, Danhausen can figure out how to wrestle in a new environment then. So his opponent was this fellow PB Smooth, who is about 6'8".
Oh my gosh.
Danhausen is like 5'10" or so. So he thought, what am I going to do to this fellow? Danhausen slipped a $5 to the barkeep and said, play this song when Danhausen yells Music Boy. And then he did, and then it confused the fellow. And then because he saw that Herman guy do it on TV once.
Yeah.
confused all those bikers, and then he kicked the crap out of them, as Danhausen remembers it. So Danhausen used this to confuse his foe and then kicked him in the face. And then he noticed that it kind of hypnotized the audience.
Oh, interesting.
Then it gave Danhausen some sort of energy. Got him all powerful. And then he lost the match, but that's not neither here nor there. But yes, so then Danhausen kept it in his repertoire because it seems to invigorate Danhausen when he hypnotizes the audience because they sing along to this song for some reason. And then they seem to love coming to Danhausen's merchandise table afterwards. It makes Danhausen lots of money.
That's great.
Yes. So not only does it hypnotize the audience, it makes Danhausen money.
I feel like you have the keys to the universe at this point. You're just firing in all cylinders.
It would appear so. We have to.
I think so.
This upward
my
momentum.
God, of
I
course.
have Danhausen on your famous show. It's skyrocketing him.
We're just the stars on the ascent. You used to train with Jimmy Jacobs, right?
Oh yes, eccentric fellow.
Very eccentric fellow. Yeah, he likes to wear like a sarong? He's a big sarong guy, the skirt things.
Oh, yes. He looks quite nice.
He does look nice in them. Yeah, God, just when you said that, I forgot that he used to come down to the hotel bar wearing sarongs often, and I thought it was like part of a gag, and I was like, oh, that's just how he dresses.
That's just how he dresses. He dresses beautifully.
Which is like, what a comfortable way to live.
Well, that's why Danhausen just looks like Danhausen.
Yeah.
Jimmy Jacobs said, hey, why don't you stop pretending to be a human and just be you? And then
right.
Danhausen said, you know what? You're right. Let's do it.
How did you guys meet and like start working together?
Well, so Danhausen went to the House of Truth Wrestling School. And that is where Jimmy Jacobs helps train with Truth Martini. So that's how we met. And then we'd go on some road trips here and there. That was after he left WWE.
Okay.
He started to become closer.
Okay, got it.
Independent scene, so he was like, hey, if you want to ride together, we can ride together. So that's what we did.
Interesting. He's a good guy, good creative guy. He's a good guy to have on your side.
That's what Danhausen would pick his brain on these car rides.
Very smart.
Yeah.
Very, very smart.
Danhausen tries to utilize his brain whenever possible.
You have to. You got to. Where do you collect all your teeth from?
Oh, here and there. Danhausen goes to various oddity shops when he was traveling all the time. So
where do you find them? Where do you get on like Atlas Obscura? Where do you find these spots?
Oh, the oddity shops? You just find them online now. They're quite popular. So there was one, Danhausen doesn't remember it. It was in Las Vegas. There's
one here.
Yes, there is one there. Where else? Cleveland has a good one. Cleveland Curiosities or something.
Oh, I heard that there's a good oddity shop in like Wilkes-Barre or somewhere around there.
We'll have to keep an eye out.
I never know if it's Wilkes-Barre or Wilkes-Barre.
Danhausen has no idea.
Me neither. I kind of switch it up each time I say it. I said Wilkes-Barre there, but
Worcester, Worcester.
Yeah.
Danhausen does not know how to say it. He gets yelled at every single time.
Can't win them all. You got to switch it up and then plead your case at the end.
I does have David Arquette's tooth.
Oh, how'd you get that? Was that after a Nick Gage match or something? What happened?
Oh, so RJ City said, hey, Danhausen, sorry to bother you, but David Arquette would like your address. And then Danhausen said, okay, what is he doing? He says, I have no idea what he does. And then he got a gift, and it was his, what is it, when they pull a crown or something.
Oh, wow.
Came in a little package. He wrote Danhausen a wonderful, nice note. And that was it. Now Danhausen has his first celebrity tooth.
That's amazing.
Yes, that is in the trophy case.
I was going to say that can't just go in amongst the rest of the teeth. That's got to be a standalone tooth.
Oh, yes, that stays there. That is a special one. Oh, my.
What happened?
Something fell. Paranormal activities happening in Danhausen's home. I hope that gets CGI'd out or stays in, so people.
Oh, it's staying in.
The paranormal experiences that surround Danhausen at all times.
These things can happen. Does that do paranormal activities happen around you? Is this a thing?
Oh yes, all the time.
Oh my God,
Non-stop.
Very scary. Very, very scary. But if you're conjuring some evil up, it's bound to happen. You can't open that portal and expect it to just be, on your own terms all the time.
Perhaps that was the forbidden door opening.
It could have been. And you also have your own coffee.
Oh, yes. Oh,
tell me all about your coffee.
So
Why don't I have any coffee? Why'd you not send me any coffee?
you want some coffee? Danhausen will send you
Yeah.
coffee. You know what? Actually, Danhausen did think of this. He did not send you coffee because you cannot have coffee right now.
This is decaf.
So Danhausen's coffee is full of caffeine. So,
But because I am pregnant currently, but when people hear this, I will no longer be pregnant.
Yes, this is true.
So I could have some caffeine then.
We shall send you some Danhausen coffee then.
Perfect.
Yes.
I've only got 2 weeks left. So
you'll be able to enjoy this just fine.
Great. Give me that. So I will add your coffee. I also have I've got Claudio's coffee, Claudio's Cafe.
We must get him some coffee too.
Yes, he must have some coffee. And I also have some Stipe Miocic coffee. So I've he is a UFC heavyweight, former heavyweight champion. He's a very dangerous man, but very nice man.
Yes. Also, real quick, you just said Claudio. Danhausen forgot. See, this is the thing where Danhausen forgets. What a wonderful wrestler he is.
Isn't he just an exceptional guy?
Yes. Should be the champion.
I agree. What a shame that he's not already, right?
Yes, exactly. Wonderful wrestler. Sorry, we did a little side.
No, I agree. I'm with you. I'm with you 1,000%. He is one of those people, much like Danhausen. I don't think anyone has a bad thing to say about Claudio.
Seems like a nice fellow. Danhausen's never met him.
Oh, you guys would get along just great.
Because we're both in exceptional shape.
Yeah. Yes.
And sell coffee.
And sell coffee.
Yes.
Okay, how did you come up with this coffee line?
Oh, yes. Sorry. We got sidetracked there by the feats of Claudio.
That's okay. It happens.
Yes. Well, so this company called Rootless Coffee, rootlesscoffeeco.com is where you can get it, by the way. They approached Danhausen. They said, would you like to come learn how to make coffee? And Danhausen loves to film things, much like Conan, his inspiration, where he goes and he learns new things. So Danhausen said, sure. And then they surprised Danhausen and they had these stickers and they said, do you want to make your own coffee? The Danhausen Coffee House. And Danhausen said, absolutely, yes.
How do you figure out how you want your coffee to taste?
Well, it's got a hint of a berry, but it is a dark roast. It is like chocolate and berries or something.
Oh,
so, seems quite nice to Danhausen. Danhausen does iced coffee most often, but Arjun said this makes a good cold brew. So,
oh, great!
Makes a good coffee. So, yes, Danhausen. Seemingly, they would not let him put teeth inside of these beans, but that is neither here nor there. So now we have the most successful coffee. We have sold over 400 bags of it.
Good for you.
And also, I don't know if we put this out there yet, but you know what? We'll put it out on this. It is going to possibly be going into a grocery store.
No way.
Yes. We had the meeting last week, which at this point of this recording will be probably 3 weeks from before.
Yeah.
But it might be mid-June.
Wow. Can you? I'm sure you can't. Can you say which grocery store?
Oh, yes. Well, who cares? It is Hollywood Market in Michigan. It is Royal Oak, Michigan. We're going to do one test store for now.
Yeah.
If you go sell it out, then, Danhausen will probably get put in a bunch of other grocery stores.
And more money for you.
More money for Danhausen. Especially because you have to buy coffee over and over and over again. It's not a t-shirt.
What an empire. All right. So you've got your coffee, all of your very successful t-shirts.
Yes.
You're going to get the action figure. That's happening.
Yes. 100%. We do have one coming from Zombie Sailor Toys later this
Great.
year. It's the Hasbro style old retro one.
Perfect.
So it's something nice.
And we're going to have the comic book.
Yes.
Show. Movies at some point.
Yes.
You're just building it out. I love this. I am all for this.
Create an empire outside of wrestling because you never know when wrestling can end.
Of course. Yeah, listen, everyone's got a window. Yeah. Your body can only go so long, so you got to find a way to kind of stick and move and maneuver around everything.
Danhausen's found a way to duct tape this window.
Perfect. That's fantastic. Well, listen, I'm very excited for you. I loved having you on. I'm excited for Danhausen Week here on Oral Sessions. I'm excited to see what you do for the show because I'm officially handing the keys over to you. So please be kind to my show.
Oh, of course.
No swearing. I don't swear on the show.
There will be no swearing on this show. Yes, you never swear. Danhausen.
I never do. Got to keep it clean.
Yes.
All right. Well, enjoy the show. I'm looking forward to it. And let me know when you want to come to Vegas and meet up with some magicians and we'll learn how to shoot lightning bolts out of our fingers.
So, yes, actually, Danhausen has an idea. It can cross-promote your book.
Great.
Listen, we talked about this on Danhausen's show, but what if, I don't know if you'll be there, we both make an item, a dish, if you will, from your book and have a competition.
Perfect.
With
I'm in.
John Moxley will be the judge.
Oh, I love that. I love when the judge is on my
Maybe
side.
Lula Duchess will be there as the co-judge, so that way we're not biased.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. I think that we should have a third. We should bring in a third judge to really be the tiebreaker.
Oh, yes.
We'll
Not a
have to
petition,
figure-
though. They'll treat.
No. Oh my God. Of course not. They're very untrustworthy.
Yes. We'll
Very.
think of a third, and then we will do this.
Love it. I love it so much. I'm in. Done and done. All right, Danhausen, it's been lovely to have you on. I'm excited to continue to watch you take over the world, Hausen.
Yeah.
We're gonna get you working with Conan Hausen. That's a must. We'll petition to get him on this show in some capacity if we can.
We have
We'll
to try
dupe
it.
him in.
It's worth a
Dupe
shot.
him in. It is.
If you don't ask, it won't happen.
You're right. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. That's what Michael Jordan said, right?
Yes. It was that hockey fellow, Michael Jordan.
Oh, was it? Oh, I thought it was like, wait, did Wayne Gretzky say that?
Emilio!
All right, listen, the show's yours. Be nice to it. Don't let me drop in viewers or listeners, okay?
Okay, well, Danhausen will do his best.
Okay, great. Bye-bye.
Thank you.